This is breaking news from CBS 13.
And now at 4, another seismic day in the history of the United States. California Congressman Kevin McCarthy just ousted as the Speaker of the House. A live look at Capitol Hill. McCarthy becomes the first Speaker of the House ever removed from power through a parliamentary rule called a privileged motion. The move saw far-right hardline conservatives band together with House Democrats to defeat the Speaker. Thanks for joining us at 4. I'm Curtis Ming.
And I'm Hunter Soward, CBS 13, Skylar Henry bringing us those historic details from Capitol Hill.
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy has been stripped of his power.
The office of Speaker of the House of the United States House of Representatives is hereby declared vacant.
Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz filed the motion to remove McCarthy after the Speaker turned to Democrats to help pass a short-term spending bill to keep the government open.
The one thing that the White House, House Democrats, and many of us on the conservative side of the Republican caucus would argue is that the thing we have in common, Kevin McCarthy said something to all of us at one point or another that he didn't really mean and never intended to live up to.
But then it was Gaetz who needed Democrats to remove McCarthy.
Kevin McCarthy's not trustworthy. We don't trust him. Their own conference doesn't trust him. We've just lurched from crisis to crisis with him as Speaker.
The decision to vacate the chair means the House will now plunge into a battle to elect the next Speaker of the House, though McCarthy likely can and will run again.
The overwhelming majority of my party supports the Speaker that we elected.
The House Republican drama comes as Congress is still grappling with crucial issues.
We have a government that will shut down in 40 days. We have a Ukraine war that needs to be funded in the next 15 days.
The House cannot proceed on any other issue until a new Speaker is elected.
So the House is now in recess to get things in order as they try to figure out who is going to run to be the next Speaker of the House. We are going to have a live update from Washington, D.C. in about 15 minutes.
And CBS 13 Steve Large is gathering reaction right now. He's live at the state capitol. Steve.
Well, of course, this all playing out of the U.S. Capitol. I had the opportunity to talk to Representative Doug LaMalfa, who represents the area in our northern viewing area, and he is a Republican. He voted in support of keeping Speaker McCarthy in place. Here's just part of our conversation about how he says things are feeling and going right now at the U.S. Capitol.
But on our side, the infighting is just really destructive. And for anybody that's a Republican watching this, I don't blame you for being disgusted by what's going on here, because it's self-destruction is what it is. To go forward, we'd have to name a speaker, and it probably can't happen quickly no matter what happens, because I don't think the team is going to just abandon Kevin. Maybe it boils down to Kevin deciding whether he wants to do it or not. Kevin's always been a battler, and one of his mottos is you never give up, so it's just a few unknowns right now, and it's probably a little too raw right now to really predict anything now.
So again, just part of my conversation over Zoom with Congressmember Doug LaMalfa, who again is supporting Kevin McCarthy for the speakership. He voted in support of him. Now, in another part of our conversation, he did say that he thinks there's a chance that Speaker McCarthy could end up retaining the speakership. As you heard him say, it's raw right now. There's a lot of unknowns, but he believes that there could be some negotiations in the Republican Party, and somehow, some way, Speaker McCarthy could be back in the mix as possible people running for that speakership position once again, and could potentially get the votes for it.
All right, Steve, thanks so much. LaFonza Butler is